So from my experience as a music production mentor, a lot of problems that producers run into are the same. And one problem that often comes up is I don't know how to add more variation. And so this is particularly common when you're sorry, I was hoping there wasn't a bear. No, I was just kidding. So the problem is when you've got like a 16 bar loop or something, or you know, just the intro and then a drop, but you don't know how to progress the track, and the struggle is you don't know how to add more variation, right? But I think that actual struggle specifically is kind of what's limiting you and what's holding you back. And here's what you should focus on instead, in my opinion, of course. So rather than thinking about variation being the goal should be energy flow management, essentially. So the reason that variation works well is because it will allow you to change the energy of a track. So that's really what you've got to be always thinking about and focusing on. And I'm going to keep this video really short because it's a nice and easy topic. Don't need to over-explain things today. But rather than focusing on how can I do variation, focus on how am I shifting the energy in this section. So a great song, or any song that's half decent, you know, it would be terrible if a song didn't have this, but a song needs energy flow. It needs the energy of the song. The song needs the energy to be changing constantly, and it doesn't have to change drastically or dramatically. It just has to be shifting somewhat. It would be really terrible if a song had the same intensity from the start to finish. If it was just every 16 bar loop was the same. You know, you want to at least be giving the impression that the energy is slightly increasing as you progress through the track, or slightly decreasing. And it doesn't have to be linear, like always up and always down. You can take the listener on a journey. You can go up in energy for maybe half a 16 bar block and then back down for the next one. So how you structure your energy management is really up to you, but the important thing is that you do it and that you pay attention to that. And that's the part that will give you the variation as a byproduct when you're focusing on that. So next time you're caught in a loop, caught in a 16 bar block, think to yourself, rather than how do I add variation, think first, shall I up the energy for the next part? Shall I decrease the energy for the next part? And how drastically should I decrease or increase energy? And once you've figured that out, then you can think about, okay, to do that, what variations will I need to make? And, you know, talking about how to increase and decrease energy, you can pretty much figure those things out, you know, filtering things down, decrease energy, taking some instruments or elements away, decreasing energy, switching up your rhythms, making them faster, more intense, you know, bringing up the energy, adding in more elements, bringing up the energy, going to a higher pitch, bringing in more energy. So there's many, many different ways that you can change the energy. And that's the way that you want to think about it, you know, when you're composing. And that's going to give you that natural variation that you actually need, you know? So don't worry about thinking, okay, I'm stuck, how do I add variation? Think to yourself intentionally, how do I want the energy to shift for this part of the song? And then the variation will come out of that. All right, so super easy, simple tip today, but that kind of mindset shift will help you guys, I think, unlock a little more creative freedom, and, you know, it'll help you, you know, not get stuck in a box so often, you know? So there you go, my G's. I advise you to do a couple of things after watching this video. If you haven't already, check out my Discord. You can access it via Patreon. And in there, what we do is we have a group of producers. We hold each other accountable. For 2026 going forward, it's going to be the best environment that you can be a part of if you want to level up fast and efficiently. Because you can also use our events, such as our feedback live streams, to create deadlines for yourself. And then the best thing about it is all that work you've done on your track, you can then go on and sign that with a different label. You can release it yourself, but you'd be part of the community that's growing together at the same time. So that's the important thing. And secondly, if you find yourself still getting stuck in certain parts of your journey, then sometimes all that's needed is one mentorship session to basically figure out what it is that you could improve on and what it is that you might be doing wrong, something that you might often be overlooking. And even just one session will often be enough to sort of, for me to sort of spot that bottleneck, where you're kind of falling short in particular areas in your production. And just by changing one little thing often is enough to, send you on your way and have you continue your production journey with a bit of a better direction. So all the resources are down below. Much love for all your support on the channel, my G's. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Much love.